I'm dangeRuss, and I'm excited to be performing here in Bremerton. I mean, what more could you ask for? I suppose you'd ask to be an hour closer to civilization. You'd ask for fewer free-range tweakers roaming around, zombies. You know, it is what it is. When I'm on the road and I tell people I'm from Bremerton, I always have to explain where that is. They say, I think I've heard of that. Is that up by Everett? And I said, no, it's lower. And I go, oh, it must be by Seattle. And I said, no, it's lower. They're like, Tacoma? I said, no, it's like way down below the poverty level. Full of all the hopes and dreams and expectations. I think the motto of Bremerton is beautiful in your rearview mirror. Bremerton, where hopes become restraining orders.
So, since you're all here, it looks like you at least survived one more holiday shopping season. You should give yourselves a hand for that. That's not easy to do. Congratulations for surviving that. I was out doing some Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. Don't judge me. I wasn't the only one out there. That was part of the problem. Everybody was out there. I was in Silverdale. I was out by Costco. I was shopping. And there were crowds everywhere. There was cars, there was people, there was lines. And then I saw this business that was apparently open, and there were no cars in the parking lot, no people in the store. The store said Kitsap, Orthotics, and Prosthetics. I thought, what a perfect place to finish my Christmas shopping. So I zoomed across the lot. Easy to park. Pulled in there. They had a big sign in the window. Real festive. It said, walk-ins welcome. That seemed a little unnecessarily cruel, but okay. Must have been in the car a little too long. I got out and was limping a little bit. As I got in, I walked in the door, and the gal behind the counter greeted me and said, hi, can I help you? I said, yeah. I wanted to see what you had in artificial legs. She says, okay. She looks over the counter and says, is it your right leg? I said, oh, it doesn't matter. She goes, it doesn't matter? I said, oh, no, it's not for me. I was just looking for some stocking stuffers, and I was hoping I wouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg for them. She growled at me kind of and stormed off to the back in there. Her boss must have set her straight and said, Jesus Christ, we're up to our prosthetic eyeballs and spare limbs. Get out there and help him. So she came out with an armload of legs. She didn't give me the hookup. Offered me a hand out to the car. She even slipped me her digits. It's customer service like that that will keep Kitsap Orthotics will always have a leg up on the competition.
Actually, Bremerton's really progressive. They're a lot more progressive than they give them credit for it. We were way ahead of that whole body positivity curve. People in Bremerton pretty much gave up on what they looked like back in the 80s. They didn't quit eating, though. Don't argue with me about that. You guys earned a nationally recognized nickname of Bremelo for a reason. Southwest Airlines has just started offering oversized passengers. If they pay for one full-size seat, they get an additional overflow seat, no additional charge. And I don't know what you guys all feel about that. You know, I kind of halfway expected to see a live reenactment of Fantasia with the hippos dancing. I was a little disappointed, frankly, when that didn't happen. Personally, I'm all for it. You know, I'm not a big guy myself. I mean, I have to carry rolls of quarters in my pocket just to activate the automatic doors of the supermarket. I'm kind of what you consider compact. But I pay full price for my seat. And I've been squished behind these oversized passengers before. And it's a lot like what you picture the Star Wars garbage scene, trash mashing scene is. Sitting there, there's stuff squishing at you from every direction, and it smells horrible. You say, how come you didn't just ask for a new seat assignment, Russ? I did. You know what they told me? I'm sorry, this flight is completely sold out, so you're going to have to return to your seat and sit with your wife and your mother-in-law.
I thought I'd stop by and get something to eat. Went by and ordered what I thought was a real simple order. I ordered burgers, fries, and a shake. Seemed pretty straightforward. I pulled in the drive-thru, burgers, fries, and shake. I had to repeat the order like 6 times. The guy was just not getting it. I thought, what the hell is going on? So I pulled around the corner. I had to see what was going on with this guy. I figured he was just a few crackers short of a barrel or something. So I pulled around the corner there, and I looked at this guy. I could tell right away he wasn't dense. He'd just been out participating in some of that legal cannabis. And he was too high to deal with a normal situation. Well, I can cut him some slack. I've been there myself. I mean, I used to smoke pot myself. I mean, that was like way, way, way back over there behind the dumpster about 10 minutes ago. But he kind of inspired me. I thought, well, I'm going to go check out one of these new stores. Have you guys been into any of these dispensaries, any of the new retail marijuana stores? Have you seen these things inside? I walked in there. I had no idea what to expect. I walked in, and the guy says, they've got smokables and edibles, they've got topicals, they've got roll-on pot. Who the hell needs roll-on pot? What is that all about? Guy comes up, tries to help me, and he says, we have over 400 kinds of pot here. Do you have anything to help me with anxiety of choosing between 400 different kinds of pot? Oh my God. He pulls out one of the packages and he tries to show me that they're all labeled in here. I've got all the information you need to know on here. I've got the type and the name and the pedigree and where they came from and what it's supposed to do to you. And they even have the accurate weight. What the hell is that? I mean, I've bought pot before. That's not the way you buy pot. I freaked out and I ran out the door. I remember how to buy pot. I was sitting at home one day. We were playing video games. I got a call from my buddy. We'll call him Not Rick. Not Rick is working. He calls me and wants me to go pick up a quarter ounce of pot for him. Not a problem. You're a good friend, Rick. I'd be happy to do that for you. So me and my buddy climb in the car, we go down, and we do what you're supposed to do. We went down to the 7-Eleven. We looked for the Camaro in the parking lot with the windows that were tinted way too dark. The music that was playing way too loud. We went over and we rapped on the window. Window rolls down just a little bit. I hand some money through the window. A couple minutes later, a sandwich bag comes out the window. It was the kind of pot I understood. There was no 400 kinds. There was the kind of pot. There was 2 kinds of pot. Got pot? Don't got pot. He had pot. So, you don't check it. You don't even look at it. It is what it is. You just hope it's not oregano or something. Make the way back to the car. I get in the car. I don't even look at it. I toss it to my buddy in the seat next to me. I get in the car. I'm starting to start the car. All of a sudden, I hear this gasp from the passenger seat. And I look over. My buddy's got the bag open. He's looking at it just with his jaw hanging slack. And I look over and it's glowing. There's this glow. I hear the sound of angels. Whoa! I avert my eyes at first. I screw my courage up. I reach over and pull out this single glorious quarter ounce bud. It is amazing. It is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It looks like a little flopped Christmas tree. I think, holy smokes. And I knew one thing immediately. Not Rick was never going to see this. So I looked at my partner looked at me, and he said the exact same thing at the exact same moment. The only thing you can say in a situation like that. Road trip. So we got in the car and we started driving, we started smoking, we started driving, we started smoking, we realized this is some incredible stuff. We are getting now preposterously higher. We are ridiculously high. We decided we need to figure out a destination. We need to figure out a plan. We need to figure out where we're going to go. That's when dangeRuss kicks in. Let's invade Canada. Oh, Canada! Seemed like a great idea at the time. So we start driving north. We're driving north, we're smoking, we're driving, we're smoking, we're driving. We're getting ridiculously high. And the farther north we go, we're also getting more and more paranoid. We're getting ridiculously paranoid, ridiculously high. We start thinking, this might not be a good idea to take this stuff across international borders. But we're problem solvers. So we decide to smoke it all. And we smoked it all. We huffed it, we puffed it, we smoked. And right as we got up to the border crossing, we smoked the last of it. We pulled up to the gate. Border guard comes up, we roll the window down. Billows of smoke come billowing out like Jeff Spicoli's band in Fast Times at Rosemont High. We're waving the smoke out. He's waving it back at us. We're waving it back. He says something in Canadian. Who knows what it is? We're English, dummy! He finally gets tired of us and just kind of waves us through. We're driving down the road. We think we've really pulled something off. We're a little ways down the road. Congratulating ourselves for this, because we just outsmarted the Canadians. Suddenly there's a sign at the side of the road that starts flashing. It says, "Too high, pull over, too high, pull over." And I look at my friend and I go, oh my God, they know. They have stealth technology here in Canada. So I grab the wheel, starts to pull over. Suddenly the semi goes, "No!" The semi nearly runs us off the road. And it cuts over and takes the exit just before we got off. That we were nearly blocking. Because apparently his load was too high to make it into the overpass. And we were too high to deal with a normal situation.
And that was always one of my goals moving into this. I wanted to be able to perform for the troops too. Every comic I've talked to said that's their greatest achievement, is to be able to go out and perform for the troops. Nothing made them feel more fulfilled, made them feel better than getting to perform for the troops. And I wanted to perform for the troops too. So every time I encountered one of these guys who got a chance to perform for the troops, I tried to interview them, ask them, what kind of stuff worked? What kind of material really worked for you? And you know what? I think I got some bad advice. And what they told me is, these kids, not only do they want to laugh, but more than that, they want to know that you think they're an adult. They want to know that you respect them like an adult. They're out there risking themselves. They're out there every day putting it on the line. And they want to know that you respect them as an adult. So don't pull any punches. Give them the rudest, the bodiest, most bluest show you can. And I said, whoa. That's not really my style, but if that's what it takes, I really want to perform for the troops. So me and the 6-year-old, we sat down, we wrote up a raunchiest set ever. I'm embarrassed to say it. I even wrote some of that stuff. I even co-wrote, signed off on it. I couldn't tell any of those jokes. I think you'd run out of town here. But I finally got my opportunity to perform in front of the troops. And I marched up there, and I committed. I committed 100%. I went into that routine, and I told every joke. Oh, it went over horrible. It went over so bad, I can't even tell you how bad it was bad. I'm probably never, ever going to perform in front of the troops again. In fact, according to the letter I got from the Girl Scouts of America, I'm not even allowed to come within 500 feet of the stand and why ain't this smoke cookies? 500 feet, really, Michael, 500 feet, I'm good.
I was headed home from shopping, and I always have something to look forward to, and when I get home, there's always going to be somebody there who's excited to see me. My dog absolutely loses his freaking mind when I walk through that door. I walk through the door, and he's quivering. He is so excited to see me. He is my buddy. We do everything together. My ex-girlfriend and I were talking about this one day. She goes, you know, he absolutely adores you. He hangs on you. You do everything together. I said, you know, have you noticed that he sleeps on the cold, hard floor right in front of my door? He forgoes this really nice, fluffy bed that I bought him. He'll sleep right on the cold door because he's afraid that he's going to miss me if I get up and leave the room. She goes, aww. She goes, that's because you make him feel safe. You make him feel loved. I can relate to that. Bitch, that's going to be really weird if I find you laying on the floor outside my door. Especially when I bought you that really nice crate. Now get over there and lay down and roll over, and maybe I'll throw you a bone after a while. She growled at me just like that. She did. So I reached out and I scratched her behind the ear. Her legs started twitching. She peed a little bit on the floor. She looked at me all embarrassed. And I looked at her, and I reached out and I grabbed her head and I rubbed her nose and threw her outside. I'm not gonna put up with that.
So, obviously I'm divorced. And I view marriage much the same way I do puberty. Having endured it once, I should never have to revisit those indignities ever again. My friends say, hey, you know, you should give marriage a second shot. It's taken me 3 times to get right. I said, you know, I don't think so. I don't think marriages should be viewed like a costume. I don't think you should just go into the fitting room with an armload of garments in there and start trying stuff on, throwing everything out to the go-back rack until you find something that makes you look like you have a nice ass. So marriage isn't for me. It's not for me. But I do have a girlfriend. My girlfriend's pretty good. She's been here for a while. First off, you know, I got to tell you, she is disabled. I don't want to overplay that. She's not like really disabled. She's just a little disabled. She's a little disabled. She has something called chronic tinnitus. Have you heard about this? I mean, it sounds terrible. From what she told me, anyway, it's this terrible sound. It's this constant ringing and hissing in the background that only she can hear. Sounds legit. I mean, if I don't hear anything, I'm just the selfish bastard. Wasn't paying attention. She hears something. She's got a polysyllabic ailment that covers her. Whatever. It's not about that. We've got these friends. They've got these 2 adorable little girls. They're always wanting to come up and whisper secrets in her ear. She has no clue what you're saying, but they don't know that. She got called out the other day. And one of the little girls came up and whispered something to her. She asked her about it. She had to admit, honey, I can't hear what you're saying. I have no idea what you told her. Look, do you know what tinnitus is? Tonight is Wednesday. My girlfriend was kind of confused. She was yeah, tonight's Wednesday. Honey, do you know what tonight is? Well, the little girl's really confused. She looks at her. Let's tell you. Tonight is Wednesday. And it takes a minute for my girlfriend to realize that she's in some kind of a who's on first loop, and she's got to get herself out of this. She goes, all right, let me explain this to you. She goes, okay, I can't hear you because I've got this permanent ring in my ear, and I can't hear quite clearly. The girl looks at her, she's the dumbest human on the planet. Well, why don't you just take the earring out then? A little about me. I'll be 58 years old this year. 58 years old. And I just accepted a cage match with a 22-year-old. I know that's the first thing you thought when I walked up here. You thought, that guy looks like a professional cage fighter. Nah, come on. I saw that. You thought that guy looks like a Tootsie Pop with arms. You thought that guy looks like Mr. Clean's methed out cousin, Mr. You should probably call before you come out. You thought that guy looks like he probably carries around 2 rolls of quarters in each pocket just so he can activate the automatic door at the supermarket. That's what you thought. But I guarantee you, if any of you charges the stage up here and tries to Will Smith me, I will not hesitate to drop kicking any of you off the stage. I have actually studied martial arts my entire life. So I was thinking, I'm almost 60 years old. Maybe it's time for me to slow down. Maybe it's time to stop getting kicked in the head and take the brain damage. So I was sitting down and thought maybe I should focus on my comedy career. Sit down and do some writing. And I'm sitting back and I'm doing some writing and I'm watching the Oscars in the background and I watch that and I think, holy smokes. Maybe cage fighting isn't as dangerous as stand-up comedy after all. So now I'm fighting this 22-year-old kid. And he's trying to get inside my head. He's trying to intimidate me. That's a little like your grandkid trying to intimidate grandpa. You know how well that's going to work. And he says, old man, I'm going to mop the floor with your face. I said, well, you're going to be pretty disappointed. What do you mean? Well, you're going to have a tough time getting in all those quarters. It's an octagon. There's 8 quarters. It's just not going to work out. They look confused. You should look confused. I was confused. It's a weird thing. What are we doing? There's 2 guys locked in a cage in their underwear, and they're fighting over a belt. A belt? Really? I can't remember the last time I was sitting around in my underwear and I thought, you know what? What I could really use right now is a nice belt. Maybe I can make it like 10 or 12 times bigger than a normal belt. Maybe I can put some big brass plaques on the front, just fasten around behind so I can wear it over my underwear. That would be pretty slick. That would certainly be worth some fighting over, wouldn't it? Well, hear me out. I have another idea. Maybe we could just find a pair of pants that actually fit. Doesn't that make more sense? It'd be easier to tell the victor, right? At the end of the fight, the guy gets pants, he obviously won. The guy that has to do the walk of shame out of the octagon in his underwear, freaking loser, right? This is all weird, but comes down to it, I'm going to fight this kid in a couple of weeks, and coincidentally, in 2 weeks is when I'll be kicking off the humorous, black-eyed, bruised, and confused comedy tour. It's just a weird coincidence. I don't know why this came off. Actually, she is a little bit of a freak, though. She's into the rough stuff. She's into the S&M and bondage stuff. And I'm really not into that. I can't say much because my hands are tied.
She's always telling me that I'm childish too. She used to always tell me I was childish. I don't even know what the heck does that mean? I'm childish. I mean, I suppose I've been known to do some childish things, like for example, I like to skip rocks. You ever skip rocks? Well, that's kind of fun. You have to tick, 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 tick. See how many times you can make it skip? That's fun, right? I was skipping rocks one day, and she lost her freaking mind. She started screaming at me. What is that all about? And it might have had something to do with the fact she was still in the bathtub when I was skipping the rocks. Bounced one right off her forehead. It worked a lot better in the old place because we had a garden tub, and you could actually almost get a good skip or two. New place, we've got one of those combined shower tub units with the big glass doors in there, so I actually have to climb up on top of the toilet. rely more on a ricochet as I bounce the rock off there to hit it. That's my time, guys. Thank you very much. I'm Russ.
Keep that going for Russ, everybody. That was fucking great. I'm gonna bring them up.